The air is thick, clinging to you like a warm, wet blanket. You're surrounded by a forest unlike any you know. Giant tree ferns, 30 feet high, form an emerald canopy, and the ground is a soft carpet of moss and damp soil. The sounds are a symphony of the strange. The buzz of unseen insects the size of your hand, the distant bellow of something enormous, and the constant, gentle drip of water from colossal leaves. The ground beneath you vibrates, a low, rhythmic thudding that you feel in your bones more than you hear with your ears. Something is coming. Now, let's journey back in time and uncover the story of a lost world. You press yourself into the base of a towering conifer, its bark rough against your back. The thudding grows louder, closer. It's the sound of weight, impossible weight. Through the dense foliage, you see a flash of mottled, earthy-toned skin. Then, a leg, thick as a tree trunk, plants itself into the mud with a sound like a pile driver. As the creature steps into a sun-dappled clearing, your sense of scale shatters. It's longer than a city bus, its head held so high it could easily peer into a second-story window. This is Giganotosaurus, the giant southern lizard. And its name, you realize with a jolt, is a profound understatement. Its head alone is the size of a grown man. Yet, for all its size, there is an eerie grace to it. This is no lumbering movie monster. Its body, though immense, is more slender and athletic than you might have imagined. Built for pursuit rather than plodding. Two powerful legs support a body perfectly counterbalanced by a long, muscular tail that sways gently with each step. You watch, mesmerized, as it lowers its massive head to drink from a sluggish, tea-colored river. The water ripples and churns as it dips its snout. You can see the ridges running along its skull and the glint of something formidable just behind its lips. This animal lived and breathed some 97 million years ago, during the late Cretaceous period, in a part of the world we now call Patagonia, Argentina. But back then, this was a land of giants, a lush, semi-tropical floodplain where everything, from the trees to the crocodiles to the herbivores, was built on a titanic scale. And this creature, this southern giant, was the undisputed king. It was an ecosystem that demanded size, and Giganotosaurus answered that call emphatically. It lifts its head, water cascading from its jaws, and emits a low, rumbling breath that rustles the ferns 100 feet away. It is the sound of an engine the size of a small car. You are in its world now, a silent witness to a reign of unimaginable power. As the giant southern lizard turns its head, you get a clearer view of its most formidable weapon. The skull is immense, a 5-foot-long masterpiece of predatory engineering, but it's not what you might expect. Unlike the famously robust, broad skull of Tyrannosaurus rex, this one is proportionally longer and narrower, almost blade-like from the side. Large openings in the bone, called fenestrae, act like weight-saving arches in a cathedral's wall, reducing the burden on its neck without critically compromising strength. It's a skull built for speed and precision, not for brute force crushing. Nature, it seems, has more than one way to design a king. Its jaw opens slightly, a silent yawn that reveals the secret to its dominance. You see rows of teeth, but they aren't the thick, conical railroad spikes you might picture. Instead, they are flattened side to side, curved backwards, and serrated like the finest steak knives. Each tooth is an 8-inch blade. This is not the toolkit of a bone crusher. Giganotosaurus belonged to a family of dinosaurs known as the Carcharodontosaurids, the shark-toothed lizards, and the name is exquisitely accurate. Its bite was a specialized instrument of death. While a T-Rex would have used its colossal jaw power to pulverize bone and anchor itself to struggling prey, this southern giant employed a different, perhaps more terrifying, strategy. It was a slasher. Its jaws would have acted like a pair of shears, closing with tremendous speed to inflict deep, grievous wounds. Imagine it lunging in, delivering a devastating bite to the flank or leg of a massive herbivore, and then pulling back. The shark-like teeth would slice through muscle and sinew, creating catastrophic blood loss and shock. The prey wouldn't be wrestled to the ground in a test of strength. It would be bled out, weakened, until it collapsed under its own colossal weight. It's a chillingly efficient method. Its binocular vision was likely less developed than that of tyrannosaurs, meaning its depth perception wasn't as acute. But with eyes placed slightly to the sides of its head, it had a wider field of view, perfect for tracking the movement of enormous herds. And its sense of smell was undoubtedly profound. The humid air, thick with the scent of vegetation and decay, would have also carried the clear, unmistakable scent of its next meal, a signal it could follow for miles. This creature was not a simple brute. It was a highly refined predator, a walking tapestry of deadly adaptations. Every part of its anatomy, from its lightweight skull to its knife-like teeth, tells the story of a hunter built to tackle the largest animals that have ever walked the earth. The giant predator moves with a quiet purpose you did not expect. It slips through the massive ferns and cycads like a gray ghost, its huge footfalls muffled by the soft earth. You follow at a distance as it emerges from the dense forest onto a vast, open floodplain. And here, you see them. The reason for the predator's existence. A herd of sauropods, so stupendously large, they seem to defy physics. These are Argentinosaurus, and they are not just animals. They are walking ecosystems. Each one is over 100 feet long, weighing perhaps 90 tons. Their long necks swaying gently as they strip leaves from the tallest trees. Their collective footsteps are a constant, rolling thunder. This is the ultimate challenge for any predator. A healthy adult is a fortress of flesh and bone, its whip-like tail a devastating weapon. How could a single hunter possibly prevail? But you soon realize it is not alone. Another Giganotosaurus melts out of the tree line on the far side of the plain, and then a third. They are communicating in ways you cannot perceive. A slight shift in posture, a subtle turn of the head. This scene gives life to a fascinating theory. Finding the fossilized remains of multiple individuals from the same family of dinosaurs grouped together has led scientists to wonder, did these giants hunt cooperatively? Taking down an animal 10 times your own weight is a near impossible task for one. But for a coordinated pack, a family unit, the odds begin to change. What you are witnessing is less a simple hunt and more a complex, strategic siege. The trio doesn't charge wildly. They are patient, moving along the periphery of the herd, their gaze fixed, searching for a weakness. They find it, a younger animal, smaller than the rest, though still immense, that has strayed slightly from the protection of the larger adults. The attack is sudden and shocking in its speed. One Giganotosaurus lunges forward in a burst of surprising agility, a distraction. As the herd shifts in alarm, the other two strike from the flanks. There is no bone-crunching impact. Instead, they do exactly what their anatomy suggests. They deliver fast, slashing bites, their serrated teeth carving deep wounds into the sauropod's massive flank and hind leg before they retreat just as quickly. It's a beautifully brutal application of their specialized tools. The young Argentinosaurus bellows in pain and confusion, its dark blood staining the ground. This is the heart of the Cretaceous arms race. As prey grew to unimaginable sizes for protection, predators evolved not just size, but also the intelligence and weaponry to match. The pack will now simply follow, their work mostly done, waiting for shock and blood loss to fell a titan. The hunt is over. The waiting has begun. You watch as one of the adult Giganotosaurus finds a shaded spot beneath a towering conifer, its massive chest rising and falling in a steady, powerful rhythm. The frantic energy of the chase has subsided, but an intense alertness remains. To live a life on this scale, to have the stamina to pursue and wound a walking mountain, requires a biological engine of incredible power. This creature's physiology is perhaps even more remarkable than its size. Looking at this colossal animal, you have to wonder, how did it get this big? And what kind of fire burned within to fuel such a life? The answers are written in its very bones. By studying the microscopic structure of fossilized bone, paleontologists can see growth rings, much like the rings in a tree trunk. They tell a story of explosive growth. A Giganotosaurus didn't spend a century slowly growing to its immense size. It did so with astonishing speed, rocketing from a hatchling not much bigger than a turkey to a multi-ton terror in just over a decade. During its adolescent growth spurt, it would have packed on an average of 10 pounds a day. It's a rate of growth that almost defies belief, and is a powerful clue about its internal workings. This rapid development simply isn't possible for a purely cold-blooded, reptilian metabolism. A creature reliant solely on the sun for its energy could never fuel such a furious expansion of bone and muscle, nor could it sustain the athletic bursts of speed needed for hunting. The old image of sluggish, lumbering dinosaurs has been completely overturned. While not fully warm-blooded in the way a mammal or bird is, Giganotosaurus and its relatives were certainly not slow, passive reptiles. They likely occupied a middle ground, a state known as mesothermy. Their sheer bulk would have helped them retain the heat generated by their muscles, a phenomenon called gigantothermy, allowing them to maintain a high and stable body temperature. This gave them the stamina and power of a warm-blooded animal, without the constant, frantic need to eat just to keep warm. It was a remarkably efficient system for a giant. This incredible metabolism, however, came at a cost. It demanded fuel, and lots of it. A successful hunt like the one you've just witnessed was not a luxury. It was a necessity. The thousands upon thousands of calories from the fallen Argentinosaurus would be the energy source that powered this pack for weeks, fueling their growth, healing their wounds, and enabling the next epic confrontation in this land of giants. Theirs was a life lived at full throttle, a brilliant, high-energy flame that burned brightly, but perhaps not for very long. The feast begins. The cycle of life and death turns on a colossal scale here in this ancient world. But this rain, like all rains, must end. Imagine the scene fading, the vibrant greens of the Cretaceous floodplain bleaching to pale beige. The sky above shifts, the continents drift, and millions of years pass like seconds. The lush swamp dries into an arid desert, and the bones of the great southern lizard, buried under layers of sediment, become stone. Silence falls, a profound silence that lasts for 97 million years, until a pair of curious human eyes scans the rock and dust of the Patagonian Badlands. The year is 1993. You're standing not in a humid forest, but under a vast, blue sky in a windswept desert. The discoverer isn't a famous paleontologist leading a massive expedition, but a local mechanic and amateur fossil hunter who spotted a massive leg bone weathering out of a hillside. When the official excavation began, the sheer scale of the find was breathtaking. As the team carefully brushed away the rock, they uncovered a skeleton that was roughly 70% complete, a treasure trove of information. They unearthed a femur,
This
a thigh
femur
bone
is truly colossal.
that was as long as a man's torso. And
found
then, the skull. Piece by piece, they assembled a predator's head that was longer than any previously known carnivorous dinosaur. This discovery sent shockwaves through the scientific community. For nearly a century, Tyrannosaurus rex had held the undisputed title of the largest meat-eating dinosaur. It was the icon, the king. Suddenly, from the southern hemisphere, a contender emerged. Giganotosaurus, the giant southern lizard, was here to challenge the throne. It was slightly longer and had a bigger skull, though it was perhaps more lightly built. The debate over which was truly bigger still sparks friendly arguments today, but that misses the more profound point. Pop culture loves a good versus match, but these two titans could never have met. They were separated by 30 million years of evolution and the entire Atlantic Ocean. Giganotosaurus wasn't a rival to T-Rex. It was its parallel. It proved that nature had run the giant apex predator experiment more than once, on different continents, with different lineages. The southern continents had their own dynasty of giants, the Carcharodontosaurids, and Giganotosaurus was their magnificent king. Its legacy is a powerful reminder that the story of the dinosaurs was a truly global epic. Filled with regional champions we are only just beginning to know. Our journey into the past concludes, leaving behind the dust of ages and the ghostly imprint of giants. These creatures, though long vanished, are not truly gone so long as we seek to understand them, piecing together their lost world from fragments of stone and whispers of time. The bones they left behind are more than just fossils. They are invitations to wonder, to imagine a world so grand and primal that it continues to echo in the deepest parts of our own history, reminding us of the planet's incredible, enduring story.